Hello everyone. So this project was inspired by the Samurai Carpenter's tool wall that he recently did, but as you'll see, this is very loosely based on that, as in I'm just building some cubbies and I'm doing a French cleat wall. But right now I'm running some little pieces that are going to be inside the base. I'm going to try my first stab at a toe kick. So I'm adding these little cleats here that will attach to my tool cubbies. Now I'm ripping down some pieces, and I'm just having about 8, I think it's 8 tool cubbies, just so I can see them at a glance at the end of my shop that is about 25 feet wide by 40, I want to say 40 feet long, so it's kind of a long shop. And I just want it on the far end, so when I walk into my shop I can see my tool wall, which will be French cleats, and this tool cubby, so I can grab any hand tool that I need and pull it from there. So this is my outfeed table right now that I'm working on. It's also my assembly table, and I use, since it's a large box of tool cubbies, I have to use both of those. And I did have some issues here. I forgot that I needed to pre-drill both pieces. I don't have long enough clamps to clamp this as well, so I struggled through it, but got it done. Again, it's just a bunch of boxes, so it doesn't need to be too fancy. And again, it's very loosely inspired by the Samurai Carpenter's new tool wall that he added in one of his. So I think I started this the next night after watching that video, because when I watch something and I'm inspired by it, I really want to do something rather than just watch another video. So I got to get out there. My floor is very wonky there at the end, so I had to adjust it a little bit with some shims. So there's my pieces, and I just do pocket holes because they're just simple and easy. I'm not that talented of a woodworker, so pocket holes is the way to go. Because I have 2 rows, I just have to make sure that I'm offsetting the screws that are going in from the bottom to the top, or to that middle shelf, and these vertical slats that are going the other way as well. I did make the mistake, as I'll talk about many of my mistakes at the end, but I did not use my spacers correctly, and that third one over is off. But again, it's there, and I'll just have to look at it enough to not let it bother me anymore. So who knows when that'll happen. But then I had some old cherry backing that was given to me years ago, and I've just kept it, so I needed to add that to help it avoid racking, and it sure does. Just a little 1/8 inch piece there. Let my father-in-law borrow my nail gun, and so I had to resort to the old hammer. So I got a few of those in there and some in the middle, and I'll screw it to the wall, and now I'm loading it up with just some of my tools. I really like that Makita router down on the bottom. My general rule of thumb is the heavier the tool is, the better the tool is. I know that if I hold different routers at those, I think that's a 3 horsepower router, the heavier it is, the better the tool is. So if I held it up to another router that was the same horsepower, the same specs, but wasn't as heavy, I'm going to choose the router that is heavier. So I just wanted to add here some trim work, nothing special, but I had some furring strips, so I wanted to add it there on the edges. And I don't complete this cubby in this video. I'll do it in a future video where I add some French cleats as well. So here's my mistakes.
Alright, so it wouldn't be a project by yours truly unless there were some mistakes. So here are the mistakes that I made. Hopefully when you make something like this, you will learn from mine, rather than what I do is I watch tons of videos and I still make the same mistakes that other people make. So I wanted to toe kick, which I had right here, 3 inches in and 3.5 inches up, and I did that when I made my base, but I forgot to do it on the sides. That's my first mistake. My second mistake is when I corrected it, I only cut it in 3 inches, which if you divide by 2, it's 1.5 inches on each side. Not 3 inches on one side and 3 on the other. But but I'm leaving it like that because there's not going to be a lot of time where I'm standing on one side or the other. I'm going to be standing in front of it if I'm working on the top of the unit. The other piece that I had is I wrote out everything on my little notebook here, but then I made an adjustment and decided to put this vertical piece on the inside, and I adjusted so this piece is less, so I have less space on each one, but I kept my 15 3/4 inch spacers until I got to this side, and I realized that this one was going to have to be less. So I kept these a little bit smaller, so the other ones are all 15 3/4 of an inch. So there are my mistakes. Oh, one more. I wasn't prepared, and I didn't have my nail gun. It's at my father-in-law's place, so I had to use the old trusty hammer, which is fine, but it's a thing. The other piece in my shop is I bought this poly sheeting over here, and when I bought it, it was on sale, or it was a good deal. I got it and I put it underneath my plywood here, underneath the insulation. And when I bought it, they said it was by 100, and I thought, that's great, 100 feet. I've got this side to do. I'm going to do this long side, and the back side there. That's perfect. However, it's 25 by 100. I only need, 6.5 by 100. But I have 25 by 100. So I bought way too much, even though I thought it was on sale, or was a good deal, which I still think it was. So those are my mistakes. Have you made the same mistakes that I have? I'd love to hear about them in the comments, so I feel like it's not just me. Anyways, this is where I'm going to end with this project. I will add on another top here to make it a little bit more beefier, and I'll add some trim on the next episode. So thank you for sticking with me. Go ahead and give it a like, thumbs up. You can subscribe too, and hit that notification button so you can know when the next video comes. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Take care.